The NBA has suspended the season, and it opens up all sorts of insane possibilities. What if they push it back a few months and certain players can get healthy for the playoffs? Then there's this Rudy Gobert drama. More players are testing positive for coronavirus, like Donovan Mitchell. There's criticism going on about Gobert. ESPN reported Jazz players said privately Gobert had been careless in the locker room, touching other players and their belongings. This video surfaced of Gobert intentionally touching every single cell phone and microphone of the media after an interview. In this video, we'll talk about what really happened behind the scenes at that interview, what the options are for the NBA now for the rest of the year, including canceling the season, and if they push it back, what that could mean for certain players getting healthy. Hey guys, it's Casey Kiernan here, host of the AM Hoops YouTube channel. This is an NBA news channel, and this is maybe the biggest news of all time in the NBA. They have actually suspended the season. We don't know for how long. News is coming out all the time, but in this video, we're gonna break down what I think are the 4 different options that they have going forward. In the next few weeks or months or whatever, I think we're gonna find out one of these options will be chosen, but I'm sort of gonna lay out the menu here in this video. First, let's talk about Rudy Gobert though. The night he tests positive, this video surfaces on social media. Gobert gets done with his interview. He touches everyone's phones and microphones intentionally, and it just looks like this guy doesn't care, and he's possibly spreading coronavirus to every member of the local media. Now, one of those reporters is a woman named Todd, who covers the Jazz for the local newspaper in Salt Lake City. In her opinion, Gobert wasn't trying to be funny or trying to spread anything. The clip was from Monday, literally minutes after the NBA had told the media to keep about a 10-foot distance from players and coaches. Everyone was kind of shocked by the news. To her, Gobert was just making a gesture that he wasn't afraid of any of the media. They speak to each other every day. You could say they work together. Sarah saw it as a kind gesture from Gobert at the time. Now it looks very different. I mean, we've all had like the sniffles and gone to work or school when maybe we shouldn't, right? But this is really irresponsible. The NBA had told the media to stay back 10 feet. The Chinese Basketball League had been suspended entirely. Clearly, this was more than the common cold, and he should have taken a better precaution. Later on, Evan Fournier, who plays with Rudy Gobert on the French national team, quote tweeted ESPN's tweet where several Jazz players privately said that Gobert was going around touching them and their stuff, and Fournier called out the Jazz teammates. Great teammates, shake my head. And I get where Fournier's coming from. I mean, we don't know that Rudy Gobert is the first guy on this team with coronavirus and he just spread it everywhere. But what Fournier is missing here is Gobert was blatantly careless, and that's inexcusable. Now, the good news is we are getting positive reports about both Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. First, the night that the season was suspended, Evan Fournier tweeted out that he spoke to Rudy and he's doing well. And then the day Donovan Mitchell was diagnosed, he posted a reassuring message on his Instagram, basically saying that other people need to be responsible, not just for them, but for the health of others, which may be a comment about his teammate. Finally, Rudy Gobert himself apologized on his Instagram. In part, he said, "The first and most important thing is I would like to publicly apologize to the people that I may have endangered. At the time, I had no idea I was even infected. I was careless and make no excuse. I hope my story serves as a warning and causes everyone to take this seriously." Here we are, the latest episode in the worst single season of any sports league ever. It all started right before the season with the China controversy. Daryl Morey sends a tweet, while many high-profile teams and players are overseas, that really upsets the Chinese government and cost the league hundreds of millions of dollars. Then Commissioner David Stern passes away. There was no warning, the public thought he was in good health. Stern was out to dinner in New York and suddenly collapsed, dying a few days later. In February, another tragedy. Kobe Bryant, his daughter, and 7 others passing away in a helicopter crash. I guess that's why LeBron sent this tweet. Man, we canceling sporting events, school, office work, etc., etc. What we really need to do is cancel 2020. Damn, it's been a rough 3 months. God bless and stay safe. Now, the NBA isn't going that far just yet to cancel 2020, so to speak, but they are suspending the season indefinitely, and that leads us to ask, what is next? What can they do? And to me, there are 4 options that they have to choose from. But first, I want to say how good of a job I think Commissioner Adam Silver has done in the last week and a half. He told teams to get tests and plan for a worst case scenario in advance. And I'll admit, at first I thought a lot of it was overboard, but now he looks like a great leader. Since the NBA announcement, MLS has suspended their season, the NHL also suspended their season, and the NCAA canceled the men's and women's basketball tournaments. The NBA was the first in America to take major action, and that takes great leadership. And you know what? They had to shut the whole league down. The Jazz have played in 6 different arenas the last week plus. Refs who are on the court with players fly commercial next to regular people like us. So they had to suspend for at least 14 days. That's how long some players need to be quarantined. So what's next? Let's go over the 4 options I believe the NBA has to choose from going forward and which one they should choose. Option number 1, in the season right now. This is like the nuclear option. If players continue to be sick, coronavirus gets worse around the country, they may have to just end it. That would mean there's no NBA champion, no MVP. In terms of how it would affect basketball, I think Giannis would have to play out next season without a new contract or sign back with Milwaukee. I mean, rumors are that the Bucks playoff run will have a lot to do with his decision, and if the season ends, I could see him holding off. Option 2, resume in 2 weeks. The NBA could resume after that 14-day period and skip all the games in between. That would mean playing in late March, canceling about 7 games. That would be a 75-game season, which we've seen shortened seasons before with a lockout, so this isn't unprecedented. Now, it would give teams in the West less of a chance to catch the Grizzlies for the 8 seed. Option number 3, resume for the playoffs. The Grizz would definitely get the 8 seed with this option. Thankfully, the only playoff spot not accounted for is just 1 in the West. Literally 15 of the 16 other spots are almost 100% mathematically locked. So if the season ended today, the playoff field would look like this. In the East, Bucks Magic, Raptors Nets, Celtics Sixers, Heat Pacers. In the West, Lakers Grizz, Clippers Mavs, Nuggets Rockets, and Jazz Thunder. And option 4, just push everything back. Now this seems actually like the option that the NBA is leaning toward right now. Several reports say the league wants to push the season back, play everything just a few months later. The finals would be like in August. But I don't see how they could do this. It would affect next year's season, the Olympics, free agency. I know the owners don't want to lose money from canceling games, but this option would affect so much more than just this year. Any one of these options other than canceling the season would affect positively 2 types of players. Number 1, guys who are injured, and number 2, guys who are older. Right now, the oldest player in the playoffs is Kyle Korver at 38 years old. Obviously, though, LeBron James might benefit the most. He's 35, but he has such a big workload, the rest would help. Then there's the injured players. News came out recently that Ben Simmons is going to be reevaluated in 3 weeks. Now it looks like at least most of that time, no one will be playing games. You could even see an option where Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving come back to play in the postseason for the Brooklyn Nets. I know this seems impossible or ridiculous, but we've seen all of the footage, especially of KD doing his thing. He was even dunking the other day. And why not, if the playoffs get pushed back deep into the summer, if KD was going to be ready for the start of next season anyway, why wouldn't they just give it a go with almost 0 expectations, understandably, just roll the dice and see what happens? With the info we have now, though, I think they should cancel the rest of the regular season and resume for the playoffs. Just waiting 2 weeks doesn't seem realistic. I expect other players besides Donovan Mitchell and Gobert to have coronavirus, and the NBA can't just start playing games if some teams have multiple players out. I think the best option is to let all those players recover and then play the postseason if possible. But if players aren't getting better, if more people become infected, and the situation gets worse around the world and around our country, I think the 2019-2020 season could already be over. Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.